We are team POMs and circumstance, which is a pun if you know about SSI. We're presenting our work on SSI non-citizen eligibility. I'm Nicholas Burka. I work on disability benefits access in New York, and this is my colleague Yuan.
You can also call me David. I'm a member of Civics Tech Toronto. I'm now a full-time job hunter, so if you saw a job in the wild, don't panic. Just call me. It's my honor to be here today.
Yeah, we came together kind of serendipitously. I found out about this challenge just before it closed, and met Yuan and another person looking for teams, as well as, very fortunately, Mark Raifman, who is a disability benefits attorney. So it was a really perfect complement of skills. I'm kind of in between them in the legal tech world. Yuan is quite a skilled AI engineer, and Mark Raifman is, of course, the attorney. We also got a lot of help from the PolicyEngine team, as well as Louise Pocock, and some other Policy2Code community members. Thank you. It was invaluable for our work. So we had two main motivations coming into this challenge. One was to make a general purpose SSI eligibility information tool, like a chatbot. And the second was to combine rules as code approaches with LLMs. So first we wanted to pick our rules as code engine, and we went with PolicyEngine because it is so widely used and it is open source and it has all of those nice ethics that we feel aligned with. And it already had income-based rules for SSI eligibility, but didn't yet have immigration status-based rules for SSI eligibility. So this was, for us, a great potential impact opportunity to combine with our learning opportunity. We used Claude 3.5 as our LLM system, and Yuan tested it in 4 different ways, which we'll tell you about in a moment. Before we get into that, I'll talk a little bit about our approach to generating PolicyEngine code. So basically, it was pretty simple. We fed a bunch of PolicyEngine examples along with a section of the POMs, which is the document that outlines eligibility for SSI. Into Claude 3.5, we use their project feature, which allows you to feed in a bunch of different documents. That generated a pretty strong initial set of code files for PolicyEngine, which we then fed in. I fed this into the Cursor IDE, which is a kind of AI-informed way to develop code. And this ended up with some pretty solid skeleton code that we were able to make a pull request for and begin to merge it into PolicyEngine's code base. But again, as other teams have mentioned, this was no replacement for human expertise, both on the legal and technical side. Also, the code that it generated was relatively basic in terms of capturing the nuances of these non-citizen eligibility rules, but we thought was a good enough first step to potentially merge into that code base.
Thank you. So we tested the LLM Claude 3.5 with 4 different ways to answer the SSI question directly, instead of we try to skip the PolicyEngine. And this is naive RNG we have tested. It's very naive. Like, if you ask me a question about SSI, I have no idea. So all I do is go Google and tell you what I found in Google. So that's naive RNG. Search in those PDFs, just like searching in Google. And Nick, he is good at Googling. So he will do, like, before searching, he will do refine of the keywords, so he can get a better result, search result. And also, after searching the keywords, he will refine, like reading the findings, and then close the irrelevant tabs, and then refine the keyword to search again. So that's the advanced RNG. And the limitation of RNG, like you are reading a book, like this, all right? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we have look, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Anakin, blah, blah, blah. Darth Vader, blah, blah, blah. Ben. Okay, now question. What's the relationship between Darth Vader and Luke, or Darth Vader and Ben? If you search, like RNG, find nothing. So the answer, I don't know. Oh, no! No. But don't worry, we got you covered. adding the graph database, it captures the relationship information in the documents. And then it's the only cases in our tests that is able to discuss the citations from the 1996 law and the DACA for the undocumented personnel. And we try to replace the graph database to using a program like Prolog. What we do is to generate code from the documents into Prologs, which we have mentioned the details in the Slack, and then the LLM will generate reading the question and then read the information about the existing code to generate a code to execute with the code library, and then getting a result. And then finally, the LLM will read the result and also retrieval from the original document to generate a final result. The RAG we use in refining the final result is the naive RAG we've mentioned before, and the generation of the code library is just using prompts and iteratively generated. The data is mentioned in the Slack, so maybe if you are interested, we can discuss later. And then the results of our testings. We test the all options using a set of yes or no questions here. The PolicyEngine is able to produce a result for around 45% of the question, but getting 100% accuracy. It requires some human labor work to cover the rest of the test cases, while the LLM was able to cover all the test cases and but getting around 92% accuracies. The best performance is by the advanced RAG, which we use the PaperQA implementations.
Oh yeah, I have a mic in my hand. Yes, and one other thing to note was a lot of the LLM cases, you can't really differentiate on score alone. You kind of have to go in and see the nuance of those different answers. So we produced some nice artifacts during our work. One is the actual PolicyEngine code, which we're currently working on editing and hoping to merge soon after we complete those edits. And then we also have the validation set we use to test our LLMs. So these are 10 expert-generated user personas for benchmarking SSI eligibility that Mark Raifman came up with, as well as 100 LLM-generated true or false questions that we reviewed ourselves to the best of our knowledge using those policy documents. So those are available here at this link. And for our next steps, we want to refine this work and see if we can get towards something that could be internally facing and then eventually public facing in doing SSI and SSDI eligibility determinations. And we also want to work on bringing together these rules as code and LLM systems, probably in a way that's going to leverage your work in PolicyEngine that you just presented. We also had this idea that thought it would be interesting to bring in decision model notation, as the MITRE team had, to PolicyEngine in some way. I mean, that's a huge, ambitious idea, but it was just kind of an interesting thought. And to expand the eligibility rules that we cover with our system into the medical eligibility rules that come after that pre-medical step, helping people understand how their medical condition and the way that their disability works fits into how the Social Security Administration considers it. Oops. Okay. Yeah, thank you all so much. And if you're interested in disability benefits access, please talk to us. Thank you.